Tucker back from 73 through 78 as you look at the starting lineups for tonight's ball game. Back in 73, Phil Johnson replaced Bob Cousy. And then in the 74-75 season, he led Kansas City to the playoffs and was named NBA Coach of the Year.
Well, I remember that year in 74-75, the Golden State Warriors won the championship. As you see the officials, Jake O'Donnell, Terry Durham.
Were you you were a member of that championship club?
I really was. It's hard to believe.
A key member.
Well, let's don't go to the extreme, okay?
All right, Ken Bannister and LaSalle Thompson on the opening tip, and Reggie Theus controls. Larry Drew and Reggie Theus in the backcourt. LaSalle Thompson down low over Ken Bannister. LaSalle Thompson, who was a question mark for the game tonight, rather for the game last night against Atlanta after he was forced out against the Sixers on Wednesday with a sore left knee, but he came back very strong last night. And an elbow flash.
Personal number 1 on Otis, and team foul number
Otis Thorpe committing the foul. We are just underway in Kansas City. And here is Bernard King. Oh! Rebounded by Thompson, who fires down. Eddie Johnson from Reggie Theus.
Well, actually, Reggie Theus could have scored himself, and he was very unselfish with that play and got it over to Johnson. They both released. The Knicks must get back defensively.
An uncharacteristic move by Theus. Of course, that has been the rap against him. James Bailey, who has been hitting the outside shot the last 3 games. And the Kings now lead by the score of 4-2. Here's Thompson. Following the rejection by Bailey, LaSalle Thompson able to put it home, and the Kings now lead it 6-2. This is Bannister. And Theus moving down with Tucker back. Walker in the backcourt along with Trent Tucker, and here's Bernard King. So Bernard with his first bucket, and the Kings lead at 6-4.
And Marv, he shot that off the wrong foot and had to arc it real high to score, as these two ball clubs are trying to get into the flow of things, especially when you consider they played last night and traveled today.
Here's Theus. Theus called on the foul as he tried to tie up Darrell Walker.
A funny way of trying to get a jump ball as Theus grabbed the ball, but he did, I guess you would say, foul Darrell Walker as the Knicks take it out of bounds.
Walker guarded by Drew, looking for King. Eddie Johnson. And the foul before the shot attempt. Pushing foul against Tucker.
And that's going to be a good matchup for Trent Tucker, because Reggie Theus has the ability to put the ball on the floor and create situations. Normally, Trent Tucker is guarding a player who is moving without the ball, and it's much easier to guard a player who isn't dribbling the ball, and he is going to have to concentrate as Kansas City took it.
Tucker. So Trent Tucker, who last night had his first off game in some time, he went zip for 6, and he's been shooting some 70% the previous 5 games, able to get going here in the early moments. Good play by Bailey. It's a 3-on-2. Bernard King from Darrell Walker to give the Knicks an 8-6 lead.
Excellent play that time by James Bailey and also Darrell Walker under control, getting it over to King for the stop.
Here's Eddie Johnson. It is Thorpe to the boards, and he's fouled. Otis Thorpe, the rookie from Providence College. First-round draft pick of the Kansas City Kings, and he was fouled by James Bailey.
Well, and he showed good mobility that time, Marv. He wasn't blocked out, but he continued on the move, and that was the reason why he had the inside position and was fouled. Otis Thorpe getting some playing time, and this can only help his career, as this ball club has really a lot of young players. Just like everybody else, they're looking for that big man in the middle.
Sal Thompson, although he has played well recently, has not been the answer. He has been very inconsistent. Here's Bernard King, and that's a loose ball foul as Thorpe was hit.
Fouls on number 20, James Bailey. That's first.
Bailey
Team foul number 3.
hitting his second.
How tall you think Thorpe is? He doesn't look any taller than about 6'6", 6'7" to me. They list him at 6'9", but he's got a good body on him, and playing the power forward position, he may be playing a little out of position.
Drew able to give the Kings a 9-8 lead. Well, how tall is James Bailey? Not his listed height. What do you think?
I think James Bailey's about 6'8". They list him as 6'9". But I don't think he's a full 6'9", as the Knicks turned the ball over, and Hubie Brown just called a 20-second timeout as well to try to get his ball club into the flow of things.
Well, if Bailey is 6'8", Thorpe is about 6'7".
Yeah, I mean, you know, they list him as 6'9", but he has a good body on him, so I like that.
Otis Thorpe, incidentally, played only a year and a half of high school basketball. Really came on as a Providence Friar.
And here we see Darrell Walker under control. Bernard King running the left lane for the stuff. And if Darrell Walker can run the break like that, he will definitely be an asset. That will really help his career. And it will also help his offensive game, because he will not have to try to force things on the offensive end.
Eddie Wilkins over at the scorer's table, now being waved on. And now some confusion as to whether Wilkins can report. Terry Durham says yes, and James Bailey will sit down.
The reason why Wilkins could report is because the Knicks called the 22nd timeout, and you can make a substitution if you're the team who called the 22nd.
Kings by 1, 9-8, Kansas City ball. 3.5 gone by. And here is Theus. Wilkins off the board, and the Knicks looking to run it down, but KC got back. Here's Darrell Walker. Little traveling music, perhaps, although Sal Thompson felt he got popped. And it's Drew again. Larry Drew with his second bucket. He had a good one last night, 11 for 14 against the Hawks. Kings by 3, 11-8. Oh, beautiful move by King, his third field goal, and the Kings now lead by 1.
And you notice that Bernard King spun away. He pivoted away from the double team situation that time and scored. You see what the Kings would like to do. They would try to double team every possibility that they get with Bernard King.
Eddie Johnson, his second field goal. He's averaging 23.5 per game. He has led Kansas City in scoring the last 3 years. Eddie Johnson matched with Bernard King. Here's Tucker. He lost Theus on the screen. And Wilkins able to keep it alive. And the foul. So Wilkins to the line. And Kansas City calls for time.
Fouls on number 41, LaSalle Thompson.
Foul committed by LaSalle Thompson. 6 minutes left in this first quarter. The Kings by 1. We'll be back after these words. 5.5 remaining in the this first quarter. Kansas City coach Phil Johnson was asked why the success against Atlanta. LaSalle Thompson able to hit and draw the foul. Why the success against the Hawks? They have won 7 straight over Atlanta. Well, he feels the Kings do well against the slow-down game.
We're going to watch LaSalle Thompson work the offensive board. Long rebound. Eddie Wilkins right there fouls LaSalle Thompson as he goes up for the shot. I think LaSalle Thompson is playing out of position. I think he's a power forward in this game, trying to play the center position for the Kansas City Kings.
Well, he's listed at 6'10". Yeah, you think he's a legit?
Yeah, I think he's a legit 6'10", but he's still, he's not center material. He's a strong forward.
Lewis Moore, who just checked in. Thompson off the ball. And here is Thorpe. Otis Thorpe giving the Kings a 20-13 lead.
The Kings have 2 good guards who can pass the basketball. You saw it there as Reggie King gave Thorpe the ball in the open court for the dunk, as we have a timeout by the Knicks.
Rory Sparrow getting set to come on for the Knicks. King off the crossover. Oh, what a move by Bernard King. 8 points for King. Kings lead by 3.
You have the feeling that Bernard King can do almost anything he wants to on the offensive end against the forwards for the Kansas City Kings.
I got you.
Here's Thorpe angling in. Knicks wanted the travel. Otis Thorpe, a 58% shooter, and you can see why. Most of his shots from in close, and he is among the leaders in field goal percentage in the NBA. Off the double team, it is King going glass. Rebound Orr. Lewis trying to draw the foul, and here are the Kings moving down. Drew against the backpedaling Walker. Thorpe lost it, and here's Walker chased by Thompson. Knicks down by 3, 22-19.
An opportunity that the Kings had to score. They missed it. The Knicks were able to come back and score as Thorpe again gets fouled. I tell you, Marv, the reason why Thorpe is shooting 58%, when you play with guards like Theus and Drew and move without the ball, you're going to receive it in high percentage areas, and that's what he's done, and that's something that you can't teach a young player. That is something that he has learned extremely quick, since he hasn't had a lot of basketball experience.
Just saw Don Boosie check in for the first time. Otis Thorpe with 2 shots. Kansas City down by 3. On the subject of Providence, for those of you who missed the news yesterday, Rick Pitino, Knicks assistant coach, was named the new head coach of the Providence Friars, taking over for Joe Mulaney. All right, here is Orr. Eddie Johnson coming away with it. And he's picked up by Sparrow, who just came on. LaSalle Thompson with 9 points. Kings by 5, 24-19.
Well, you may have heard Huey Brown hollering at Wilkins to get up, and you do have to get up. That time he laid back too far as the Kings played a 2-man game, and Bernard King just answered back with a jump shot.
So 10 for Bernard, who had a 45-point explosion last night against the Pacers. Knicks down by 3. Here is Drew. A friendly rim for Larry Drew. His 3rd bucket. He has 6. And the Kings by 5. Sparrow on the quick release. Rebounded by Wilkins. And the foul against the Kings.
Again, Eddie Wilkins being extremely active on that offensive end. He has a knack of getting down the floor and getting the good position, and he was fouled that time as he grabbed the rebound. As the Knicks take the ball out of bounds, up underneath. Here you will see it. Eddie Wilkins, he will not be blocked out, in the right place at the right time, on his way back up, and he's fouled by Boosie. Knicks take it out of bounds on the side.
Butch Carter has come on for the first time. He's had the hot hand. He had 17 last night. Nice pass from Butch for King. And Bernard has 12. The Knicks trail by 3, 26-23. Boosie Hanlon working against Carter. Mark Overding on the floor for the first time. This is Overding with it. Twisting in on Orr and called for the offensive foul.
motion by Louis Orr that time, anticipating the play of Mark Overding, picking up the charging foul. And I have to believe that the Kansas City Kings will look at that matchup and see whether or not Lewis can handle him as Ernie Grunfeld comes into the game. Did not get the key to the city when he arrived today.
Ernie is a popular figure, though, here in Kansas City. Orr's first bucket. And the Kings now by one, 26-25. Grunfeld played 3 years here and had one particular superb season back in the 80-81 season when the Kings upset the Phoenix Suns, going with a backcourt of Scott Wedman and Ernie Grunfeld. A fling by Eddie Johnson. And here come the Knicks with a minute left in this first quarter. Butch Carter taking it right in the face of Eddie Johnson.
Eddie Johnson did not show much heart then. He could have very easily picked up the charging foul, and he said, hey, Butch, you want to score? Go ahead. I'll step aside.
Knicks by one, 27-26. And the foul on the play, so the basket counts, and Johnson will go to the line.
Well, maybe that's the reason why Eddie Johnson did not pick up the foul. As you see him here, he's going to fake left, goes right, hit on the arm right there, puts up the prayer. It's answered because he used the glass to sort of help to open his shot. Good offensive move by Eddie Johnson as a ex-Knick, Joe C. Merriweather. You know what the C stands for, Marv?
No, I don't.
He doesn't either.
Joe C., a well-traveled ball player. This, though, his 5th straight year with Kansas City, showing some stability following 5 different teams his first 5 years in the NBA, including part of a season with the Knicks. Down to 30 seconds left in the quarter, and Grunfeld hits on his first field goal attempt. We're tied at 29.
You're right, Phil. I missed it. All right.
Boosie played by Carter. Shot clock is down to 10. 18 left in the quarter. Shot clock down to 5. And here's Drew. And he's on fire in this first quarter. 8 seconds left. Down to 5. We're down to 3. 1. And that's the end of the first quarter here in Kansas City. The score, the Kansas City Kings 31 and the New York Knicks 29. Marv Albert with Butch Beard back in Kansas City, Missouri. As you can see, a small crowd on hand here in KC. They're averaging only 6,400. That is the lowest average attendance in the NBA. Back in January, the Kings made the announcement that they will be headed to Sacramento, California. Final official approval is still required. Here's Grunfeld as we open up in the second quarter. So Ernie has hit 2 out of 2. And we're tied at 31.
Good job spotting up. Romero penetrated. Ernie Grunfeld knowing these rims extremely well.
At halftime, we'll be talking about the Kings' move to Sacramento with the president, general manager of the Kings, Joe Axelson. And Neely has come on for the first time for Kansas City. He's up front with Merriweather and Overding. Boosie and Theists are at the guards. Bernard King leading the way for the Knicks with 12. Bernard just sitting down right now. Here is Ed Neely. Ed Neely connecting on his first field goal attempt. He's an 8th round draft pick. That was back in '82, and he's hung in, although Kings did drop him at the start of the year, played in the CBA, and then he was re-signed. A loose ball foul, says the outside official Jake O'Donnell, and it's against the Knicks.
So Eddie Wilkins, as he pushed Joe C. Merriweather in the back, if Eddie's going to put somebody on Joe C., you cannot make it too obvious.
And Wilkins picked up his second. Now here's Merriweather over Wilkins. The Knicks with a backcourt of Carter and Sparrow. Here is Carter. Grunfeld for Orr. And Carter off the tip.
Well, Butch Carter doing something positive after pulling up a break a little too long, was able to get inside and tip it in to tie the score up.
2 minutes gone by. Second quarter. Overding saw the opening and hits the floor very hard. He was fouled on the play.
That's good by Mark.
Well, last night we saw Herb Williams of the Indiana Pacers come crashing down, and he hurt his chest and was forced to leave the game. And now Mark Overding, who is a huge specimen.
Yes, he is. I tell you what, he was concentrating on the hoop right here. You see him looking up, and he wasn't aware of the contact, and that's the reason why he hit the floor so hard. See, look at his eyes. He's still looking up as he goes over Eddie Wilkins right there inadvertently, and he wasn't able to gather himself as far as finding out where he was in relationship to the floor, and it looked like he landed on his elbow. And you know, Mark is a big, strong guy, so if he is hurting, you just think how the floor feels right now. Oh, that's vicious, wasn't it? That was vicious.
Typical locker room cynicism.
It really is, come to think about it.
But apparently Mark is all right. He goes 6'8", 230 pounds, and that's legitimate.
Oh, every bit of it. I caught a couple of his picks.
I had to foul, but then you tripped.
They hurt.
So did Bernard King. He's had a couple of
he and Bernard. Now you have to remember, Bernard only scored 18 points against this ball club earlier in the season, and he and Mark Overding, they really went at it at the Garden. As a matter of fact, I thought Mark was a little too physical with Bernard and tried to get him out of his game mentally.
The Knicks won that game back in November at the Garden, beating the Kings by 13. Kings by 2, 35-33. We're early second quarter. Here is Grunfeld. So Ernie with the hot hand. He's come off the bench and hit 3 of 4. We're tied at 35.
Boy, it's just like shooting Horace if the defensive men are not going to get over the pick, leaving the offensive people wide open for jumpers.
And the foul called on Connor. You play horse or horses?
Only when we want to put ES on it. See, that's how you spell horses. You have to put the S on it.
So you play with the S, the extra letter. That was my question. All right, here's Merriweather. So Joe C. getting inside, and the Kings by 2, 37-35.
What do you play in your backyard? Horse or horses?
It depends who I'm playing, actually. As Connor again connects from outside. He has 3 field goals, 6 points. If I feel the opposition is more talented, which is usually the case, I'll try to extend the game. So you go for the S. If I feel it's a wipeout possibility, you go without the S. Nice move by Reggie Theus. So the Kings by 2, 39-37.
You know, Reggie Theus has all the offensive moves in the world for a big guard. It's just a shame that he hasn't been able to show his talents, especially in Chicago and here in Kansas City.
Kicked out by the Kings. Bailey and Bannister. Return. Replacing Orr and Wilkins. Wilkins with 5 points, Orr with a bucket for 2. Sparrow setting it against Boosie. Try to flip it off the dribble.
That's tough to do against Don Boosie because he is still a good defensive player, and he anticipates extremely well, and that's what he did that time, knocking the ball out of bounds.
Grunfeld being guarded by the bigger man, Neely. Nice move by Sparrow to beat Boosie.
Just as I said, he anticipates extremely well. That's exactly what he did, but he anticipated strong as Sparrow beat him on the dribble drive to the hoop.
Making right, going left. Theus with a notion. Ed Neely.
Basic basketball, just a little pick and roll by Theus and Neely. The defense did not communicate, and Neely ends up scoring, as Hubie Brown says. Would you guys talk on the defensive end just once?
Knicks down by 2, 41-39. Sparrow. Rory with a quick release. His second bucket has 4, and we're tied at 41.
You have a feeling that either one of these teams have broken down their knees on the defensive end yet?
Bernard King getting set to return. Here's Otis Thorpe. Otis Thorpe whipping around James Bailey, and Thorpe has 7.
Now that was an excellent move by Thorpe as he faked the jump shot and continued on to the hoop for 2 points.
Merriweather off the boards. 5 minutes gone by, second quarter. Theus. And Reggie will go to the line. Butch Carter called for the push. Here is King replacing Grunfeld. Ernie shot well. 3 field goals, 6 points. Bernard King with 12 points in the first quarter, hitting on 6 of 9. There's head coach Phil Johnson, who took over for Jack McKinney last November. And the Kings by 4, 45-41. Leg block, says Terry Durham. And the Knicks looking to call for time.
Time is taken by the Kings.
Well, the Kings call for time with 6:58 left in this first half here at Kemper in Kansas City. The Kings lead the Knicks by 4. Little parting gesture to the city of Kansas City as they head to the West next year. Butch Carter trying to go glass. And the foul is called. Bannister on the foul, his first.
Why do people pick on Josie Merriweather? The ball goes up. Thorpe grabs the rebound. You see right there Bannister holding Josie Merriweather. Jake O'Donnell says, hey, look, please don't pick on Josie Merriweather. He's played in more games with the Kansas City Kings this year than he did. That's right. All the time he was with the Knicks. The guy was always hurt. But I love him. I really do. He's a good guy. Josie, 10 years.
See, Boosie, a 10-year man, 13-year man.
Yes, he
including the
counted 3.
ABA.
Yeah,
Yes.
he counted 3 in the ABA with the Indiana Pacers.
Olderling's been around. Bannister with his first bucket. Mark Olberdick, who began his career in the ABA with San Diego and San Antonio in his 10th year.
He was a hardship case out of Minnesota.
Art King leads the break. It's a 3-on-2. Carter blocked by Neely. So the foul on Neely as Butch Carter takes it to the bucket, and he will go to the line.
Bernard King, the middle man on the break that time as the Knicks get the numbers, and you see King giving Butch Carter the good bounce pass, and Neely still moving as Carter scores. He will go to the free throw line, hoping to complete the 3-point play.
And Butch trying to tie the game. Last night he was 8 for 14, 17 points as he has continued the torrid shooting pace. But the Kings by 1. Bad pass by Theus. And again the Knicks on the break. Again it's Carter. Stopped by Thorpe. Fast break Kansas City, 2-on-1. Here is Theus. And the Kings lead 48-45. Hubie Brown up looking to settle it down.
Thorpe did a good job of hustling back that time, blocking the shot, and that was a great hustle play on his part. That shows you when you're young, you're able to run down the floor.
5.5 remaining in this first half. I mentioned the recent success of Kansas City. Last night they beat Atlanta. Wednesday night beat the Sixers by 1 in overtime. Here is Theus with room. So Reggie Theus has 10, and the Kings lead by 5. They've led by as many as 7. And Hubie wants to talk it over. A timeout called. 5 minutes, 11 seconds left. First half from Kansas City in Milwaukee. That'll be an 8:30 starting time, WOR-TV Channel 9. And then Tuesday night, the revamped Cleveland Cavaliers playing good ball. And that telecast starting at 8:30 New York time. Knicks trailing the Kings by 5. Here's Darrell Walker. And James Bailey with a good effort. And again, and he draws the foul. And Bailey hurt his right ankle.
Good job by James Bailey going to the offensive boards. He was not blocked out, was able to get the inside position, and then as he went up for the shot, he was fouled. Here you see Darrell Walker putting the shot up. Now you notice that LaSalle, Thompson, and Thorpe, they're looking up. They did not block out James Bailey right here, and he's going back up, and he's going to get fouled right there by Thompson, so James Bailey is shooting 2.
James able to walk it off. He's all right. That's his 3rd point. And we have received later word on Mark Olberding, who slammed to the floor off that driving move back in the 1st quarter. Mark will not return to the game. He has been taken for x-rays. He landed on his elbow, so they're checking out the elbow injury suffered by Olberding, and he has had it for the night. Kings by 3, 50-47. Eddie Johnson. King around Johnson. 14 for Bernard, and he's 7 for 11.
Well, Eddie Johnson again showing his ability to play defense, just simply backed up and said, Bernard, you want to go to the hoop? Ow.
Perhaps he is not unsung as we labeled him at the start. Otis Thorpe with 9 points, and Eddie Johnson to this point in the 1st half has been standing outside and popping.
Well, that's a part of his game. His game is outside, but he's not a very physical player, especially on the defensive end. And when you play that small forward position in the NBA today, you're playing against most of the skilled athletes, and he's having a hard time with King as he just picked up a personal foul that time.
Mark Olberding will not return to the game. He's going to have
3:45 remaining in this 1st half, and the Kings lead the Knicks by 3. Here is King again.
Can't stand behind him, Mark, and that's what he's doing. Bernard will eat him alive. I mean, he'll back him up to get that good position all night long, and that's what he's done here in the 1st half.
Theus coughs it up, and they'll jump it up. Bannister and Theus on the jump ball. Bernard King is now 8 for 12 from the floor. Knicks come in at 24 and 46. They have won 4 of the last 7. This is game 3 of the 5-game road trip. They lost to the Bullets in a 3-point game Wednesday in Landover and come off last night's victory over the Pacers in Indiana. Drew controls. Thorpe getting it out. King saving. And here's Tucker. Nice play. Bernard King with the save to set up the break. And the Knicks lead by 1, 53-52.
Actually, Bernard King could have let that ball go out of bounds. It would have been the Knicks' ball, so he took a chance, and the Knicks still ended up with a layup basket.
Thorpe with a tough move. A see-the-ball move as he was able to swing in. He now has 11, and the Kings by 1.
Well, we talked about Eddie Johnson at the top of the show, but I've been mostly impressed with Otis Thorpe as Bernard King tried the behind-the-back pass and is out of bounds by the Knicks.
And Thorpe getting down. Knicks did not get back, so the Kings by 3, 56-53, 2.5 left in this 1st half.
Well, this Kansas City King ball club, with the lineup that they have out there, they show pretty good quickness as Trent Tucker just picked up a blocking foul, as he did block that time trying to set the pick for Bernard King. He didn't believe it, but it was. There's good quickness with this King lineup out there. They can cause a lot of problems on the offensive end, but they can't guard anybody.
Lewis Orr is back in. Bannister up front with Orr and King. Bailey sitting down. Here's LaSalle Thompson off the turn. He is sweeping to the board. And the Kings by 5, 58-53, 12 points for Reggie Theus.
Theus was not blocked out by Trent Tucker, and he went to the board as soon as Thompson put it up, was able to score. He's 6'6". You must concentrate on him on the offensive end.
Thorpe getting it down, but a bad pass. He tried to send Theus racing down the court. Wilkins is back.
Checking into the Kings now is number 40, Peter Verhoeven.
And Peter Verhoeven In his 4th year out of Fresno State, one-time Portland Trailblazer. There he is, signed as a free agent last November, making his first appearance, and he may get the playing time tonight because of the injury suffered by Olberding.
And there's a lot of commotion going on. I think they're going to have something at halftime, Marv. These people are really excited about something. Thought they were coming down to get your autograph.
Maybe they're leaving.
No, they're staying. Bernard King was fouled that time as the Knicks went down inside to him. Look at them. They're standing in line for your autograph, Marv. I'm really impressed. It's nice that you brought them down, you know?
Either that or perhaps there was only one concession stand. Every once in a while I've fed these lines.
I know
from our aces in the truck, Leon Schreier and John Gallagher, who are actually dying tonight. 4-point Kansas City lead with 1.5 minutes remaining in this first half. And Drew setting it against Walker. Gets the pick, but the steal by Wilkins. Verhoeven is back on Walker. And Orr with the shot. So the Knicks trail by 2, 58-56.
And that was made possible by Darrell Walker knocking the ball away from Drew, and the Knicks were able to score in the transition that time.
This is Verhoeven. Here's Drew. Beautiful shot by Larry Drew. He has 10, and the Kings by 4. Down to 50 seconds to go in this first half. Bernard King with 19 points, and the Knicks within 2. Theus able to hold on with 25 seconds to go in the half.
And that was good hustle by Theus that time as he beat 3 Knicks to the basketball, and he's getting a round of applause. Somebody woke up.
Eddie Johnson. And here's King taking all the way. So Bernard King has tied it at 60.
Over and back. Violation.
Bad play by Johnson.
It really was. He's had a tough first half, as the Knicks have an opportunity now to go ahead at halftime with 6 seconds left in the half.
Tied at 60. Hubie Brown sprinting out, 6 seconds left. And the foul is called. At first, Bernard King thought it might have been called on him, and was very happy to hear that Eddie Johnson picked it up.
Well, Eddie said that's the closest I've been to him all night long, and now they call a foul. So he was a little upset, as Bernard King will go to the free throw line because the Kings are over the limit.
And here is Ed Neely back. Eddie Johnson sitting down. He picks up his second. King is 1 for 2 from the line. He's a 77% free throw shooter, as you see. 13 out of 15 from the line last night. He has 21 points. He had 20 last night on his way to 45 against Indiana. And the Knicks lead by 1. 5 seconds left in the half. We're down to 1. And that's the end of the first half with the score here in Kansas City. The Knicks 61. And this is the president and general manager of the Kansas City Kings, Joe Axelson. Joe, where do things stand at this moment concerning the move to Sacramento?
Last week, we had a very favorable meeting with a special committee that Commissioner Stern appointed. They're going to make their recommendation to the Board of Governors to be considered, we expect, favorably in New York on April 16th.
So you would say that it is just about done?
I would say it's just about done.
How have folks in this area reacted to the news that the Kings are going?
In an ugly manner.
Ugly?
Yes, provincially, same way I would if I were here.
Why is it that NBA basketball never did make it in Kansas City. They had some decent years when the Kings played well, but why hasn't it taken hold in this city?
That would take about an hour to answer. The one answer I would give immediately would be I think the population in this city is probably too small. It's about 1.2 million to accommodate 4 professional teams. And we got here much after the Chiefs and the Royals did, and not a lot of big companies in this city. And like a Hallmark, for example, who support us very well, would give us the same number of tickets they gave everybody else, but there weren't enough companies like that. I would say that's the #1 problem.
What about Sacramento? Where does it stand in terms of population, and why will the Kings go over in Sacramento?
Well, we're going to go over incredibly well in Sacramento for 2 or 3 years if we don't mess it up. If we can bring a decent club out there, the fans will be there. Our season ticket sale, they don't even have a club officially. We gave them 3 weeks, told them they had to put $100 per ticket down, and it looks like Grand Central Station out there. It's going to be incredible. Sacramento has nothing in the city. The biggest gymnasium in Sacramento at the moment, until ours gets finished, was built in 1928 and seats 3,000 people. They don't have minor league anything, so it's going to be another Portland.
Will it be the Sacramento Kings?
Yes, it will. Instead of the Sacramento Senators.
Yeah. Joe, in this third quarter.
I'm going to take that back. It's Darrell Walker that has the 3 turnovers. I want to give credit where credit is due.
Thank you. Be after you. Yes. All right, here is Bannister. And Eddie Johnson off the boards. Second and final meeting of the season between these two clubs. The Knicks beating the Kings at the Garden back in November. Johnson. And Johnson keeps it alive. Tipped home by Thorpe. So 15 points for the rookie from Providence, Otis Thorpe. Thorpe had a career-high 19 rebound game of that win over the Sixers last week. Here is Tucker. That's a 2-pointer, says the official Terry Durham. And the Knicks lead by 1, 63-62.
And if Tucker can continue to hit that shot, as Darrell Walker just picked up the foul against Larry Drew, if Tucker can continue to hit that shot, that's really going to open up a lot of things for Bernard King down inside against Eddie Johnson. And I'm pretty sure that's good news for Eddie Johnson.
And the first team foul.
Alley-oop attempted, intended for Thorpe. Theus able to keep it alive. Here's Thompson, and he's called for the offensive foul. LaSalle Thompson on the charge, and the Knicks will take over.
That's a classic case of giving your body up for the team, as Bannister got the good position, and LaSalle Thompson, once he started forward, he was going to go forward and picked up the violation and the foul.
Well, Drew lost Walker. He just took his eyes off him, and King was able to find him. Now some sloppy play by the KC Kings as the Knicks get it back on the turnover.
See, when you make a pass like that to your teammate, you're supposed to say, it's for you, Thompson. He thought it was for somebody else.
Very sleepy-looking play.
Yes, it was.
And the Knicks lead by 3, 65-62. King trying to get it down low, so he turns it over. Here is Drew giving it up to Johnson. This is Thorpe. Nice fake. And it's Thompson. And the foul. Bailey committing the foul, his third. And LaSalle Thompson.
See, Marv, that's what I'm talking about. They do have quickness up front that time. Actually, it was Thorpe who caused the whole problems as he went to the hoop with the good quickness, and it freed up Thompson to get the inside position to grab the rebound, and he was fouled. So I'm impressed with these young players if they can play some defense. Keep on stressing that. Wouldn't hurt.
Knicks by 1, 65-64. Bernard King off the fake. 24 for King. Knicks by 3.
You know, I'm going to tell Eddie Johnson during the next timeout, don't stand behind him. That's the wrong thing to do. You're not giving him anything differently.
Kings will put it in play. 12 on the shot clock. Theus getting it down low to Thompson. Easy layup for LaSalle Thompson. And Hubie Brown did not appreciate the defensive work. And Eddie Wilkins getting set to come on. He'll replace James Bailey.
Well, actually, the pass was what made the play because it was an excellent pass by Theus as Bannister tried to get the position defensively.
This is Drew racing on Tucker. Theus got a break and able to recapture, but not able to hit. King met by Drew. And the foul before the shot attempt. Thompson commits it. Here is Wilkins replacing Bailey. 2.5 gone by, third quarter. And the Knicks lead by 1. Kings have led by as many as 7. So it goes back to Kansas City.
Pass was too long, Darrell. Nobody could run that pass down as the Knicks had isolated Bernard King down low.
Larry Drew setting it. Nice lead pass. Otis Thorpe killing the Knicks. He now has 17, and the Kings lead by 1.
Although Eddie Johnson is having an off night, Otis Thorpe showing us a little bit of everything in his offensive, what do you call it, repertoire?
Repertoire would be fine. Okay. Interesting move by Theus. Here's Drew. 12 points for Drew and a 22nd timeout called by the Knicks. So the Kings have opened up a 3-point lead, 70-67.
Well, this Kansas City ball club depends upon their offensive output, and with Larry Drew and Reggie Theus pushing the ball up the floor and having the good outside shooters in Thorpe and Eddie Johnson, they are able to get a lot of what you would call high percentage shots in the transition game. That last play, Theus actually was hung up in the air, had nobody to pass to, found Drew for the 2 points, and I tell you, they can score. Well, watch Theus. Now he's making his offensive move. See, I'm going to be creative. Uh-oh, let me find somebody. And the 2 points by Larry Drew. See, I could never leave the air like that on the break because I could never hang in the air that long.
See, that is also a move that you see Bernard King. Misfire. He's missed his last couple. That last move by Theus, one that Kevin Lockery would not have appreciated. Well, he had Reggie in Chicago.
Reggie. Now that's another part of his game. You know, he's, you know, a lot of people say Reggie Theus is a soft kid. When I'm talking about soft, he cannot take the contact, but he'll play hurt and he can take contact, but he's too conscious of trying to create at that time, getting the break with Trent Tucker, but normally not getting that type of break.
Walker looking to race it down. Here's King. And he's fouled by Theus.
Now, you see what I'm talking about? He was actually preventing Bernard King from scoring that time, and he knew exactly what he wanted to do as the Knicks this time get numbers in the transition game, and King is on his way to the hoop extremely hard. You see Theus right there. He had prevented the 2 points by Bernard King, and if you say that he is a soft kid, that's untrue. I mean, he plays the basketball game hard. It's just that maybe he's misunderstood.
Whoa. Who said he's soft? You raised the point. Now you say he's not soft.
Well, I've heard the
Which
word.
is it?
I've heard words saying he's soft.
Knicks have a 2-point lead. Nice pass from Walker to King. Bernard lost the handle, and it's a fast break the other way. Here's Johnson. He can't buy one.
He really can't, but again, Reggie Theus hustling on the offensive end was able to get the inside position, and he was fouled as they are playing park basketball.
Yes, they are. Schoolyard style here at Kemper in Kansas City. Louis Orr committing that last foul. King lost it. Here's Thorpe. And Kansas City has a 4-point lead, 72-68. 5 minutes gone by, third quarter.
Excellent play by Larry Drew, stealing the ball from Bernard King and was able to know where the people were on the floor, getting it over to Thorpe for the dunk.
Darrell Walker, his third bucket. He has 6 points, and the Knicks are within 2, 72-70. Drew not able to hit. Moore pegs it down, a bad pass, and off the contact. Knicks were very fortunate there. Theus called on the foul. It was a wild pass, but Theus on the foul, and a timeout has been called by Kansas City. 6.5 left, third quarter.
At the forward position tonight.
Well, Johnson, averaging 23.5 coming in, has had his difficulties against Bernard King. Only 7 points for Johnson, and King has burned him for most of his 25 tonight. Traveling violation call. The Kansas City Kings with a 2-point lead, 72-70. It's been a seesaw game. Kings led by as many as 7 at 1 point of the first half. Theus played by Tucker. Thorpe trying to set up against Orr down low. This is Thompson putting the move on Wilkins, and rebounded by Wilkins. Here is Orr. Rebounded by LaSalle Thompson. LaSalle Thompson throwing the pick on Walker. And last touch by the Knicks.
UB Brown talking to Eddie Wilkins about getting up on the pick on that 2-man play, as the Knicks were fortunate that Larry Drew did not score that time as he came off the pick of LaSalle Thompson.
Here's Johnson. So Eddie Johnson connecting on his first field goal this second half, and he's given the Kings a 74-70 lead. Here's King. Yes. 27 for Bernard King.
I forgot to tell Johnson not to play behind Bernard King during that timeout. He's got to do something different, Marv. I mean, he's not giving him a different look on the defensive end.
Well, Butch, go over and have a little chat with Eddie. I know he'll accept it very well. All right, here's Thorpe doing it from the outside, so he has 21.
He is a good-looking rookie. Otis Thorpe, to be able to hit that outside jumper to go along with his inside game and getting the playing time, he is going to be a good pro. When you see a player for a couple of times, you really don't know, but he's shown extremely well here tonight.
Orr missed an easy one. And Theus trying to come away with it, bottled up by King. And here is Orr making certain. Good play by King. The Knicks are down by 2.
Louis Orr should have had the 2 points on as he got a couple of tips, and the good hustle by Bernard King getting it over to Orr for the dunk that time.
4:15 left, third quarter. Eddie Johnson. And here is Thorpe, and he's fouled. So Thorpe will go to the line. He's hit by Tucker.
Although Thorpe is getting fouled, it was LaSalle Thompson who kept that ball alive for Otis Thorpe, who had the good inside position as Johnson continues to struggle with his offensive game. Here you see Reggie Theus hustling. Bernard King right there is going to knock the ball back to Louis Orr. Louis Orr had missed 2 previous attempts, but he got the high percentage one with the dunk.
Otis Thorpe is only a 63% free throw shooter. He has been starting as of late. He's averaging 12 points a game and has done it recently in the starting role. So Thorpe now with a total of 22 points. And the Kings by 3, 77-74. Butch Carter back on the floor for the Knicks. And combining with Darrell Walker. Don Boosie back in for Kansas City. Lewis Orr bringing the Knicks within one. 77-76. Orr has 8.
Good job of swinging the ball to the weak side as Orr was freed up off of a down pick. He hit the open jumper.
Lewis on the overplay. And Johnson is fouled. Holding foul on Orr. Lewis picking up his 3rd. The Nick foul situation, the only man in difficulty is Trent Tucker. He has 4. For the Kings, 3 apiece on Thompson and Theus. And here is Josie Merriweather replacing LaSalle Thompson. Darrell Walker sits down. Rory Sparrow is back. Otis Thorpe played center at Providence, now at a power forward position. Here you have Eddie Johnson on the line, who is a small forward at 6'8", and as you mentioned, LaSalle Thompson is the center, but he is better suited at a forward position, so it's an odd front line. This is similar to the Indiana Pacer situation that we saw last night.
It really is, but it also gives us King management. If they want to make a trade, they can make a trade with any one of those 3 guys because they can help another ball club. And with Thorpe getting his playing time, he could possibly be the small forward of the future as Lewis Orr walked that time on the good defensive pressure by the Kansas City Kings.
3:15 left, 3rd quarter. Kansas City in possession. They lead by 2. This is Boosie handling. Off the pick from Merriweather. Here's Johnson whipping by. And goaltending called on Wilkins. Now the Knicks call for time. With a 4-point lead with 3 minutes 6 seconds remaining. In this 3rd quarter, Marv Albert with Butch Beard from Kansas City, Missouri. Nick Ball as we resume following the timeout. Carter and Sparrow now at the guards. Here's King. Kept alive by Wilkins. Beautiful play by Eddie Wilkins.
Boy, extremely active on the offensive end. Wilkins that time was not blocked out and was able to get the inside position again and score. That was a difficult shot he just made then.
He has 7 points. Knicks down by 2 as Carter is called on the foul for grabbing hold of Thorpe. And Thorpe to the line with the Knicks over the foul limit. The shooting has certainly cooled down following the first half that saw the Kings at 63%, the Knicks at 56. It has not been a good shooting 3rd quarter. 23 for Thorpe.
Well, I don't think they could have shot any better than they did the first half. I'm looking at Thorpe. He has the ability to even get bigger as you see his upper body. He is a good-looking player, and you have to remember that the Kansas City Kings are playing without their number 6 player, Mike Woodson, who is out, and that's 17 points coming off the bench.
Woodson out with tendonitis. Pat Cummings remains sidelined, out with a sprained ankle. Reach-in foul called, and that is team foul number 4 by Kansas City. Or did they say he knocked it out? Let's see.
They said he knocked it out of bounds as Boosie rotated on the defense then.
Here is Orr. And a loose ball foul. It's called on Wilkins. That will put the Kings to the foul line. Pat Cummings tonight missing his 6th straight game with a sprained ankle. And on the subject of injuries, Mark Olberding, who landed on his elbow in the first half, out for the night and was taken for x-rays. And the x-ray report is no fracture.
Well, that's good news for Mark. Even though he has a sore elbow now, he may be icing it down, ready to come back.
Merriweather hitting 1 of 2 from the line. The Kings by 4, 82-78. Coming up on 2 minutes left, 3rd quarter. Orr. So Lewis able to line drive at home, bringing the Knicks within 2.
Under 2 minutes.
Tough assignment now defensively for Orr, chasing around Otis Thorpe. There's Merriweather on the fadeaway. Joe C. with his second bucket. He has 6 points, and the Kings with a 4-point lead.
Well, Joe C. Merriweather is capable of hitting a little baseline jumper that time as the Kings ran their offense and got good movement and got it down inside to him.
Bernard King met by Merriweather on the switch, but it did not matter, and King has 29. Knicks down by 2, minute 20 left, third quarter. Boosie. This is Drew. Kept alive by Thorpe off the fake. What a move by Otis Thorpe, who is putting on a clinic offensively.
If you watch Otis Thorpe and Eddie Wilkins on the offensive ends working the boards, they are extremely active, and that's the reason why they've been hard to block out. And boy, they are doing a good job of working the boards and getting something positive out of it.
Potter on the recovery, and here is Wilkins. Wilkins able to make the move away from Thorpe, and Eddie Wilkins playing very well. Kings by 2. Wilkins doing it offensively. Bad pass, and the Knicks will take over.
Finally, Hubie Brown got Eddie Wilkins to get up on that pick, and the defense rotated, and Kansas City turned the ball over, so Wilkins did get the message during the timeout.
Last 3 games against Indiana, against Washington, Wilkins has done it offensively. Obviously, the inexperience, there have been problems defensively with Wilkins, but has been showing some signs as of late. We're down to 5 seconds to go, third quarter. Yes, and it counts with 1 second remaining, third quarter.
And the foul was on Joe C. Merriweather as Louis Orr received the ball. It looked like he wanted to go to the hoop, and he bumped into Joe C., put the ball up. Here you see Louis, right, turning to his right. There's the foul, the continuation. Louis Orr has a chance of putting the Knicks ahead with this free throw.
He is an 80% foul shooter, looking for his 13th point of the night. Knicks by 1. 1 second left. And that's the end of the third quarter as the Knicks come from behind to take a 1-point lead. All right, here's Boosie as we get underway fourth quarter, moving it against Sparrow. We have seen very little of the Knick trapping defense, but now the illegal defense called for the first time on the Knicks.
Illegal defense warning on New York.
And this is Peter Verhoeven checking back. Played briefly in the first half. Otis Thorpe sitting down. Verhoeven posting on Orr, gets it back out. This is LaSalle Thompson with the ball. Back to Verhoeven. And last touch by Orr. Knicks by 1, 87-86. Boosie coming off the pick, getting it down to Thompson. And it's a 24-second violation. The officials, Jake O'Donnell and Terry Durham, checking it out.
Hubie thought it was a 24-second violation. Jake O'Donnell said the ball hit the board. Hubie says, I can't believe you saw it hit the board, and it did. So it means we have a jump ball because 2 players knocked it out of bounds, and Terry Durham did not know who. We start all over again.
And here's Boosie. And rebounded by Carter, who is fouled. Verhoeven committing the foul. The Knicks now go with a backcourt of Carter and Sparrow. Up front, Grunfeld, along with Bannister, who just replaced Wilkins. So Bannister up front with Orr and Grunfeld. Bernard King sitting down, getting a rest. Bernard is the high man with 29. Otis Thorpe leading Kansas City with 25. Here is Carter. Butch Carter. His 5th field goal, he has 10, and the Knicks by 3, 89-86. Johnson. Eddie Johnson going glass. He has 14, but has not had a good night.
That was a tough shot by Eddie Johnson as the New York Knicks went into their half-court pressure, and Kansas City was able to beat them on the tough bank shot from Johnson.
The Knicks lead is now 89-88. Carter, that time not a good shot. Minute and a half gone by. 4th quarter. Here is Boosie, a 3-point field goal. That has been his specialty over the years. Don Boosie, who is at 37% from 3-point range, among the leaders in the NBA. He's given the Kings a 91-89 lead. Takes that 3-point shot from actually very little jumping there. Almost a standing 3-pointer.
It's almost like a little set shot, and you would have to play up on him and force him into the drive because he doesn't have the foot speed anymore that he had earlier in his career.
Nice shot by Sparrow. And we're tied at 91. Rory's 3rd field goal. He has 6. Grunfeld now playing Johnson. Here's Boosie. Johnson fouled by Grunfeld.
Fouls number 18, Ernie Grunfeld.
Johnson forcing his way that time on the offensive move. Actually forced that shot up as he is trying to get into the offensive flow of things, especially with Bernard King sitting on the bench getting a rest. So he's trying to take advantage of it now offensively against Ernie Grunfeld.
Eddie Johnson, one of the better foul shooters in the NBA, at 88%. And he is 3 out of 4 from the line. Kings lead it 93-91. 9.5 left in the game. Thorpe getting set to return now for Kansas City. Good play by Thompson. 5 on the shot clock. Here's Grunfeld. And it is a loose ball foul, says Jake O'Donnell, against Kansas City. There's Thorpe returning along with Neely. Brown calling it out from the Knicks bench. Bannister, he was given the rule by Thorpe, not able to hit. Knicks get the new 24. Here is Butch Carter. And rebounded by LaSalle Thompson. Try to save it and is called for steps. That pass by Neely led him too far.
It really did. It was a bad pass by Neely, and then when Thorpe ran the ball down, he was right on the baseline, and he tried to tightrope the baseline.
What he tried to do?
Yeah, I'll get it out, and he ended up walking.
James Bailey back on the floor. Bernard King getting set to return. To the crowd, he forced the issue, and it's an offensive foul. Now here's Bernard King for Ernie Grunfeld.
Offensive foul number 7, Butch Carter of New York. That's number 4.
Bernard is the high man. He is 29. He is 13 for 21 from the floor.
Now back in the lineup.
Kings by 2, 93-91. They go with Theus and Drew at the guards. Thorpe, Thompson, and Neely up front. This is Neely. It's a 3-on-2 led by Sparrow, and he's fouled by Theus.
And it was a good foul by Reggie Theus because Rory Sparrow had beaten Larry Drew at about the free throw line on a good crossover dribble, so Theus prevented a layup attempt by Sparrow, and the Knicks will take the ball out of bounds.
Leading King. Bernard was looking for the continuation call. He took a nice body block from that man. Looks like he can play tight end in the National Football League. Ed Neely goes 6'7", 245 pounds. He was all-state football in high school, and you can see why. Knicks screaming that Kansas City is playing the zone. Sparrow providing the zone-busting shot, and we're tied at 93. 7.5 left in the game. Here is Theus. And batted out by Thompson of Kansas City. Eddie Johnson being waved on. And he replaces Ed Neely. Short rest for Johnson.
And short work by Ed Neely.
Except Sparrow and Carter in the backcourt. King with Bailey and Bannister up front. Here is Bernard over Johnson. 31 for King.
Well, this is beginning to get Bernard King time, and the Knicks are really going to exploit that matchup. And if Eddie Johnson plays behind him, he could end up having he could have nightmares tonight after this game.
Knicks have a 2-point lead. Shot clock down to 5. Wait a moment. What was that call?
Lane violation, Jake O'Donnell called on the Kansas City Kings. Interesting, as we have a timeout. That's what he said.
It was a timeout. Let's get Jake over here to explain that call.
I'm hoping.
The Knicks enjoyed the call, though. Just under 7 left in the game. And will score. The Bullets beat the Celtics 119-104. Bullets 119, Boston 104. How about this overtime score? Atlanta and Cleveland tied at 81 in overtime. 3 on the shot clock. Here is Theus with the fling.
And that's a violation. It did not touch anything, as Reggie Theus knew how much time was left on the 24-second shot clock, as the Knicks played good team defense that time.
At the half, Indiana and Milwaukee Bucks lead the Pacers 67-60. And at the half, Chicago over Dallas 57-39.
81 going into overtime.
Cleveland and Atlanta even at 81 in OT. And the foul, a loose ball called on King. For Bernard, that is only his first.
That is personal number 1 on King. Team foul number 2.
Do you think those two ball clubs are slowing it down?
Knicks picking up their second team foul. Knicks by 2, 95-93. Here is Theus. He has not had a good shooting night. Sparrow accelerated. And Bannister lost it from Carter.
Well, Bannister was thinking dunk before he received the ball that time, and it was a good pass by Butch Carter. Knicks missed an opportunity to score, as Kansas City did not get back defensively.
Theus showing creativity. And let's see, they say it counts. The Knicks were looking for offensive interference.
Well, I thought it was a good play by Otis Thorpe that time. If anything, it was Reggie Theus possibly charging, as he created a shot and got it to the hoop.
We're tied at 95. King on a fadeaway. And the Knicks lead by 2. Bernard King has 33 points.
Thompson did not step out on the pick, as King that time was moving without the ball, and that was the reason why he was open. Now, what is this?
Flashing the elbow, said Jake O'Donnell. It's called on Bailey.
He said flashing the elbow up. Did he hit anybody? Let's see if he hit anybody. We're not going to see it. Apparently he did.
Theus. to Theus, and we're tied at 97 with 4 minutes, 20 seconds left in this fourth quarter. That time Johnson broke it up, and a foul called against the Kings.
And that's a big break for the Knicks because they call it on Otis Thorpe as the Kansas City Kings are over the limit, as that time Rory Sparrow tried to force the ball down inside to Bernard King.
Back in the Knick lineup is number 4,
Here's Darrell Walker back for Butch Carter.
Butch Carter, and going to the line for New York is Bernard King.
And Bernard King to the line. He is only 3 for 6 from the line. Knicks by 1, 98-97. 35 for Bernard, and the Knicks have a 2-point lead, 99-97. 4 minutes left in the game. Very close to a travel. Eddie Johnson has tied it at 99.
It looks like Eddie Johnson now is into the flow offensively, as he did get away possibly with the walk and was able to hit the jumper.
Here's Bailey. Actually had no grip on the ball. Theus setting it up against Walker. Walker picked off by Thompson, but able to get back. Here's LaSalle Thompson dumping it down. Otis Thorpe stopped by Bailey. Thorpe on the recovery.
James Bailey made a good defensive play, but Otis Thorpe, staying with the ball, was able to score as New York calls a timeout.
Otis Thorpe, the man sparking these Kansas City Kings, as we take a look at Thorpe in action. Bailey with the block, but Otis on the recovery.
And that was really good hustle by Otis Thorpe. Now we're going to see a way to stop Bernard King, as Eddie Johnson has had a tough time. Look at him holding his trunks right there. Too late, lob pass. As I think on that particular play, Bernard King was fouled by Otis Thorpe, who was rotating on the defense. So Eddie Johnson is resorting to anything and everything on the defensive end.
Very sneaky schoolyard move. That's right out of the pages of the Bill Bradley method of playing defense. Bill was a specialist at tugging on the shorts. We're down to 3 minutes left in the game. Kings by 2. Here's Sparrow. And Thorpe off the boards. Picking up Theus. Here's Thorpe. And he'll go to the line. Bailey picking up the foul. That is his 5th.
Boy, it was almost a situation where Reggie Theus was forcing that play that particular time on the two-man game, the pick and roll, as Thorpe was closely guarded by James Bailey and was finally fouled by Bailey as he went to the hoop. It's been an impressive night for the rookie from Providence.
He is only 4 for 9 from the foul line. Louis Orr replacing James Bailey. Kings by 3. 2:39 left. So 31 for Thorpe. Going the middle. And the Kings are taking command down the stretch. 2:20 remaining. They lead by 4, and they have the ball.
And they're playing better team defense in the half-court game.
Foul committed by Darrell Walker. Kings come in winners of the last 3, 8 of the last 11, and they have won 5 straight here at home. So finishing with a flourish in what appears to be their final home games in Kansas City. As we discussed with Joe Axelson, the president and general manager of the Kings at halftime, this club announcing the move to Sacramento, California. It has to be officially approved by the NBA, but they feel it's forthcoming. There's no question about it. Kings by 6, 105-99. Bernard King handing off. Eddie Wilkins. Fouled by Otis Thorpe. For Thorpe, it's his 4th, and Wilkins will go to the line.
Good job by Bernard King moving without the ball. And again, you saw Eddie Wilkins on his way to the boards just in case King put the shot up for the rebound. Instead, he received the pass and was fouled as he tried to lay up attempt.
Eddie Wilkins is 2 out of 2 from the foul line. He's been hitting his free throws recently, although he is at 58% on the season. 5-point lead for the Kansas City Kings. Knicks down by 4. We have 2 minutes left in the game as Drew backs on Walker. And the steal by King, a bad pass, and went short. Here is King, and the Knicks are within 2, 105-103.
And they call a delay of game warning against the Knicks. That's the first, as Hubie Brown, as you see Bernard King getting right past Johnson and then using his left hand on Thompson to score. And Hubie is, I mean, he's playing this game. He's out in the middle of the floor as Walker comes up with the steal.
And we're tied at 105. A timeout is called by Kansas City. 1 minute and 34 remaining in the ball game. Timeout. We'll be right back. This Knick road trip will continue in Milwaukee Monday night, and WOR-TV Channel 9 Sports will be airing it starting at 8:30, and then Tuesday night from Cleveland, 8:30 airtime as the Knicks take on the Cavaliers. The Knicks with 5 unanswered points, making 6 unanswered. The 2 free throws by Wilkins, the field goal by King, and then the steal on the bucket by Walker to come from behind to tie it at 105. 1 minute 34 left in the ball game. Bernard King has 37 points coming off the 45-point game against Indiana last night, and Otis Thorpe leading Kansas City with 31. Eddie Johnson will inbound. King trying to slip it, and back the other way is Reggie Theus. Look out, King hurt himself as he gave the foul on Theus.
Turned the ankle.
So Bernard King hustling down.
Here you see Reggie Theus on his way to the hoop. Now Bernard King is going to hustle back to prevent the layup. Now let's see how he lands on the floor. Here's the contact. Yeah, we can't see. Yeah, it looked like he turned the ankle again. Well, he'll go directly to the dressing room and they will apply ice. So let's see if we can get one more look at this. Now look at Bernard King's right leg. Let's see if he lands on Reggie Theus's back, the back of Reggie Theus's foot. Let's see. It looked like he had already hurt it before he started to jump there as well.
And it is a knee.
And that's bad.
Mike Saunders was motioned over that it is the knee. And here is Theus giving the Kings the lead. 107-105, a minute and 20 remaining of the game. Here is Orr putting the move on Johnson. And a loose ball foul on Bailey. So Bailey is fouled out.
Well, you have to credit LaSalle Thompson that time for getting the good position as James Bailey tried to go over his back to grab the offensive rebound. He has fouled out. Ernie Grunfeld will come in for him. And these are two big free throws for LaSalle Thompson.
LaSalle Thompson 1 out of 2 from the line. He's a 71% foul shooter. Bernard King back in the Knicks dressing room. Apparently injuring his knee. Bernard with 37 points tonight. Another big ball game. A 2-point Kansas City lead. So Thompson blows the free throws.
Now, who are they going to call this foul on? Is it on Thorpe? Call the foul on Thorpe. Yes, now it's up to Eddie Wilkins to go to the free throw line and tie the score possibly, as that was not a smart foul by Otis Thorpe, who has had a great game.
And that is number 5 on Thorpe. Both clubs are over the limit. So here is Wilkins. Johnson and his assistant Frank Hamlin could not believe that last foul. Wilkins 3 out of 3 from the line, but only 58% free throw shooter. And throws the air ball. Well, we are not seeing pretty basketball right here. LaSalle Thompson misses 2 from the line. In a clutch situation, Wilkins throws an air ball with 1:09 remaining in the game. And it's rebounded by Theus. We are down to 1 minute left in the game. Kansas City with a 2-point lead and the ball. Knicks looking to trap. Here's Thorpe for Johnson. And the Kings lead by 4. The Knicks call for time. 52 seconds remaining in the game. And the Kings lead the Knicks 109-105.
Johnson may have hit the biggest bucket of the night for the Kansas City Kings, as we saw Eddie Wilkins miss the 2 free throws, and then the Knicks went into their trapping defense, and it was the good pass from Thorpe to Johnson for the little baseline jumper to put the Kansas City Kings up by 4. Here you see Drew getting it to the middle man against the pressure, and Thorpe is going to penetrate, draw the defense to him, and there is Eddie Johnson hitting a big basket for the Kansas City Kings.
So the Kansas City Kings looking to make it 4 straight, 9 of the last 12. They come in at 27-43, last in the Midwest Division. I recall the Kings were the surprise of the NBA 2 years ago. They won 45 games. Last year they dropped off to 38 victories, but still made the playoffs. And this year it has been a struggle. While the Knicks come off the win over Indiana, and their record at 24-46. In this game number 3 of a 5-game road trip that will continue in Milwaukee and in Cleveland.
The Knicks only have 1 timeout left. They do not have a 20-second timeout, whereas the Kansas City Kings have 2 full timeouts and a 20-second. The Knicks are in a situation where, with 52 seconds to go, with this possession to try to score. And if they score, they turn around and play the good defense, hoping for a turnover or hoping that the Kansas City Kings force the shot up, giving them an opportunity to tie the score. So this is a big possession as far as the Knicks are concerned, and they need to score on this possession. If they should happen to miss, Mark, my philosophy is to turn around and foul right away and see what, happens in that situation.
Sparrow for Grunfeld. On the steal, not able to control. Look out. Wow.
Boy, that's a big break for the Knicks, because that was the wrong type of pass to make on that situation, as Grunfeld tried to bounce the ball, and Theus almost came up with the big steal. Being from Hollywood, you like to make this type of plays so the fans can give you a standing ovation.
Reggie is all right. Knocked the glasses off a fan who is okay.
Who will go to Utah and find my doctor to take care of you.
What are you talking about?
Oh, you have a short memory.
All right, here is Walker. We're down to 29 seconds remaining. And they will jump it up.
That's actually a break for the Knicks because it looked like Louis Orr and Eddie Wilkins had the ball and Otis Thorpe came in. So you have a jump ball, and this is a real big play for both ball clubs.
Kings lead it by 4 and control the tap. And the blocking foul called on Walker.
Well, it's not such a bad play. You know, the Knicks are down by 4 with 23 seconds to go. At least they did not let Kansas City run out a lot of time on the clock, and that's exactly what they would have done. They would have spread the floor. So this way, the Theus will go in to shoot 2 free throws, and then you call a timeout and hope to score.
Reggie 6 for 7 from the line. And the Kings open up a 6-point lead.
Gotta go quicker than that. You gotta go quicker than that.
3-point attempt. And we are down to 12 seconds left in the game. Walker giving the foul. He thought he had it cleanly, but the foul called on Darrell Walker with 7 seconds remaining.
Well, I think the reason why Walker was a little upset was because it was a late whistle by Jake O'Donnell as he fouled Walker, I'm talking about, Reggie Theus, and these 2 free throws could just, well, it would put icing on the cake.
Theus is 7 for 8 from the line. So the Kings by 7, 112-105, 7 seconds left. And the Kansas City Kings making it 4 straight wins, 9 of the last 12. That will do it. Final score here in Kansas City. The Kings over the Knicks, 113-105. We'll be back to recap in just a moment.